Hello everyone and welcome back to Lounging Lizards, where my lizards are still lounging. This is going to be the start of my little mini-series that I'm going to do about all of my animals and how I got them. Well, just the reptiles mainly, of how I got them. And yeah. So first up we have Prudence. Prudence is my first gecko. She was about a year when I got her. I was about to graduate college, I was in a placement program here with a school, or I was in a placement at a school in a kindergarten class, and what had happened was they had actually gotten into getting reptiles for the kids as a class pet, but they didn't want something like a hamster or guinea pig. They wanted reptiles, and I understand the reason why is because they think, oh, they're less time, they're less money, less energy, all that sort of stuff. And they went ahead and they got a little leopard gecko for the kids. They named it Leppy, and I instantly fell in love with it. And long story short, that gecko ended up actually passing away. I brought it here to my house for the Christmas break, and it ended up dying the night after I got him home, and it was really sad, but in hindsight I think it was just because of all the added stress of little kids running around and screaming all the time, and they don't understand that these guys are very fragile, especially when they're babies. So, but the best part about it was, because I fell in love with this little leopard gecko, I wanted one myself. And even though these animals are considered more of a kid's reptile, which by the way it is not, I still wanted one because they were really cute. They're really cool. They don't get big. They stay relatively small, and they don't need that big of an enclosure. So I was begging my parents to get one. My mom was like, no, we don't need one right now, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you get a job, you can't care for it. And I'm like, first off, if I ever got a job and I said that I couldn't handle my animals, I better have, a fucking broken back if I can't take care of them. Legit. That would be my pet. That's my pet peeve when people say that they can't take care of an animal. It's like, well, have you broken your back recently? No? Then suck it up and fucking keep it. I'm sorry. Wow. But then, what was it? I think it was the night that I actually brought the little leopard gecko home for Christmas break for the kids. My parents went out after dinner, and they didn't tell me where they were going. They just said, oh, we're going to go out for a drive. I was like, okay, whatever. We do it all the time. So they went out. They were gone for a couple of hours, and they came back, and I was upstairs, and they had brought back a 20-gallon tank. And I looked at them, and I instantly was like, wait, this is happening? This is happening. And I was like, yeah, we can go either tomorrow or we can go tonight to go get a leopard gecko. And I was like, we're going tonight. So we went to PetSmart because, yes, I understand that there's a lot of PetSmarts that do not do well by their animals, but the one that I go to regularly takes pretty good care of their animals. They actually they recently opened up a new one at the other end of town, and I went to that today, and the animals are actually really good. Their guinea pigs were actually like popcorning in the enclosure. So, yeah. So, I think that it just depends on the manager that's running it and whatnot. And, yeah, that's pretty much what I think. So, anyways, so I go and I pick her up, and I will say she did have 2 eyes in the beginning. I'll put up a little picture of me holding her when she was a baby, when she was younger. I don't think she was a year old. I think she was probably about 6 months or so. Probably a subadult, basically. Probably about like 6, maybe 9 months old. Super cute, like, and she had more banding on her back as well, which was really cool. And then to see her like change like this, it was really cool. But yeah, I got her the same day that the same night that the leopard gecko actually ended up passing away. And you know, it did suck. It was really hard to stomach because I was like, oh god, how am I going to tell the kids? But it was a public school, so you know, some of them knew about God, and others, you know, their parents were, you know, atheists or Protestants or whatever, and, you know, there's just different views, but they all knew in the end that he ended up passing away. So, yeah. Funny thing is that when I first got her, for the first, like, 6 months, I thought that she was a he, and I named her Stabby initially. And if you haven't watched The Ringer, you wouldn't know who Stabby is. He's actually a character in the movie that that Johnny Knoxville's character initially rigs the Special Olympics for, to get the money to actually like get his fingers reattached. But anyways, so I named him Stabby. And then after like 6 months, I was like, wait, she's a girl. So renamed her Prudence, and after my favorite Beatles song, Dear Prudence. And yeah, and she had the eye injury. I'll do a separate video on her, on how she lost her. She didn't lose the actual eye. It's just a whole story. I'll go over it in another video. So, yeah. She is a very, very good girl. Obviously loves her food. Because of her eye, I do have to assist feed her, which has actually worked to my advantage in terms of taming her, because it really helped with taking her out, making her interact with me, and she's just very sweet and likes to come out. So as you can see, she'll walk onto my hand if I have her out, and see. So, yeah, she's good. Ooh, where are you going? Oh no. Bloop. So yeah, so that's how I got Prudence. And I hope that you guys enjoyed the start of this little mini-series that I'm doing. A lot of people ask where I got my geckos, and sometimes they'll ask, oh, did you get them from a breeder? I'm like, no. So I like to go kind of in depth on how I got them and where they came from, and just in general how I got to the sheer amount that I have currently. So, yeah. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click that like button and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below and tell me about your first reptile and how it was when, like, how your experience was when you got them. So, yeah. Thank you guys very much for watching. And until next week, my lizards will still be lounging. Bye-bye, guys.